You're now listening to the Key Witness Media Podcast with Kurt Maggs. Kurt Maggs Radio.
Yada. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Kurt Maggs Radio Show. What's poppin'? We're back in the building. For real about this. First, I would like to thank everyone who's been listening to these episodes, definitely downloading the podcast. Definitely appreciate everybody's support. At some point, I will think about actually promoting the show. Yeah, actually going to think about it. At some point, I would like to promote the show and let everybody know that we out here and we trying to do the thing for real. So hopefully we're going to be able to split that podcast off and let the Kurt Maggs Radio Show fly on its own without having to keep doing both at the same time. But like I said, I wanted the podcast to be a little bit more formal. So definitely appreciate everybody's support and the feedback that I'm getting. Also was contacted by a group that autism. I guess they actually listened to some of those episodes about autism. I don't think I really said anything groundbreaking or anything, but they did ask me if I wanted to do something together with them, and I'm serious about the efforts of as far as supporting kids with autism, and we even have adults with autism. So, man, anything that's in support of that, I'm definitely 100% actually living with it and dealing with it. Is a whole different thing. A lot of people don't know what it is to actually take care of someone that has autism or on the autism spectrum. I think the other one is Asperger. It's all the same thing. If I can name somebody who's out there that actually has it, that you may know of, but the swimmer Michael Phelps from the USA swim team, gold medal winner. He's on the Asperger spectrum. One thing about people who have autism or Asperger, they have a special gift and they have a special talent. They have an insight that most regular people don't see. Don't think that someone on autism or Asperger is someone that they really can't take care of themselves. They just handle things differently and process things differently. So let's show support. If you see somebody that's asking for funding or support, anything as far as autism, please step out and reach out and actually support it. I'm a 100% believer in it. First, I would like to, got some sad news on last week and yesterday. Last week, the great pianist Chick Corea, big fan of Chick Corea, man. Rest in peace. I was totally shocked. I am actually signed up to Chick Corea's YouTube channel and actually on Instagram. And I would listen to and check out Chick Corea at least once a week just to listen to some of the ways he was coming up and creating things. Chick Corea has been around a long time. He's been part of the music scene since the 70s, groundbreaking, we call jazz fusion. He did it all. He worked with the likes of Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, Keith Jarrett, you had Herbie Hancock, so many that he dealt with. The bass player, countless of bass players, Stanley Clarke, you had, I believe him and Jocko did things together. There's another bass player that he played with, Christian McBride. All of these guys who are greats and people who are groundbreaking. Chick Corea was groundbreaking. He did things on the piano that was unheard of. And you could never, ever probably ever find another keyboard player as great as Chick Corea. Some of the songs that I enjoyed that he made was Spain, 500 Mile High. Man, so many great songs. Forever, one of his albums. He had an album called My Spanish Heart. Just so many things. If you get a chance, opportunity, go on whatever your streaming devices are as far as music or YouTube. Go on there and punch in Chick Corea, check him out. If you're a musician, there's no way in the world you don't know who Chick Corea is. If you don't know Chick Corea, it's probably because you may have isolated yourself and put yourself in a box and didn't come out of it. Whether that be R&B, gospel. Everybody I know that's a musician listen to Chick Corea. So, man, just check him out. You know, show respect to him. Pick up some of the things and learn from what he was actually putting out there. I remember there was a couple of gospel albums and groups, even choirs that used some of Chick Corea's music in their arrangements. And, man, it just brought life to the songs and to the music. So, man, total respect to Chick Corea. Man, going to be greatly missed. Greatly missed. We're dealing with some crazy weather right now. We got what looks like a winter storm that has hit all across the country. I'm here in the middle of it in Indiana, and right here in the middle of it, and saying, wow, we're actually getting actual real predictions of snow. Even though it's after Christmas and all the people that understand what having a white Christmas is, the snow is coming in middle of February, and we know we don't have much longer before spring hits in. And everything is hitting different now because we're dealing with the COVID issues and pandemic, and so we're not wide open like we used to be. But man, you know what? I really, really miss those days of being able just to go out and celebrate and do things, go to events and all that stuff. A lot of times you don't know how great something is until it's gone. And man, you know, one day we'll get back to it, y'all. So don't worry, don't stress out about it. Just stay calm, stay safe, follow the guidelines, and do what you need to do in order to protect yourself. Just thinking about a couple of days ago, I was talking to somebody about a situation that I had. Used to work in a steel mill, and we talk about people that as you go on through life, you run into people who either has a positive or a negative effect on you. But you learn as the clock turns on dealing with different individuals and being able to relate to certain people and understanding where they're coming from. Now, I'm the type of guy who can I've worked and dealt with so many different type of people that it's easy for me to adjust. It's very easy for me to adjust. So when I'm dealing with somebody who's kind of grumpy all the time, or people don't get along with them, for some strange reason, I get along with them. People, how did you get along with this guy? You know, everybody, you know, jobs I've been on or places I've been, people saying, don't deal with this person, don't deal with that person. They're difficult or whatever. They give them some type of title of saying what they are. And a lot of times when you get to know them, a lot of times people mess with other people, and the result of that is what you get. A lot of times if you just listen to them, let them talk, or just leave them alone, you'll go a lot further with dealing with people. So there are things that you learn as the clock turns, as I may say. So I was telling the guy about this guy I used to work with. His name was Home Brew. That was this, little street name that he had. And sometimes we would call him Brew. So first time I met Home Brew, we was there's a little small shanty room where there was mostly like the control center, and Home Brew controlled the control center. And this is the control center that actually dumped the melted steel into the actual pot. Now, that could either be the slag you're dumping out of the slag or actually the still pouring that you would pour into the ladle. So homebrew, that was his job. So he'd been doing it maybe for 20-something years, and he was the highest paid because of that responsibility. When you're dealing with molten metal and you're creating products for steel, the more difficult and things that are going on with it, the more that you got paid. So homebrew was definitely getting paid very well in order to do that job. But homebrew was the type of guy, he would like to brag about what he had in money, or what he was about to get, or what he didn't have. So basically there was nothing that you can top in order to be better than homebrew. You was never gonna beat him out. Never. So I'm talking to homebrew. This is my first time meeting him, so he's asking me what my name is, and I told him my name's Kurt. He was like, okay, glad to meet you. Glad to see you a part of the team. So he's giving me the whole spiel. And I'm like, pretty cool guy, and this and that, and this and that. So as I'm meeting some of the other employees as they're welcoming me into the fold, I end up being real close friends with a guy named Sherlock. That's what his name. Everybody in the steel mill, if you don't understand, had a nickname. Yeah, I'm not going to even tell you what my nickname. It changed about 3 times, so it all depends on what department I was in, whatever nickname they got you. We had guys named Flashlight Bill. Bill was a guy who worked in maintenance, but everything, he never fixed nothing, but he always had a flashlight, putting it on whatever the situation is. So if it was a broken bolt, instead of him putting a brand new bolt on there, he'll sit there and hold the flashlight, just looking at it. So we would just sit back and like, man, go ahead and change the bolt. It's no use to keep flashing the flashlight on it. Just go ahead and fix it. So we had characters like Chicken Hawk. Chicken Hawk was known for any time we were sitting in the lunchroom. He never came in with nothing, but he left with a full belly. So you can kind of deal with that. But the only thing about him having a full belly, when we would go out to work, he would still be sitting in there in the lunchroom, and that means that he was stealing our food. You have 3 pieces of chicken, you come back, you only got 1. So that's how he ended up getting the name Chicken Hawk. So, like I said, we had so many different characters, and throughout this journey with this Kurt Magg's radio show, I'm going to bring up and talk about these guys. But get back to Homebrew. Homebrew was a guy who liked to flash and want everybody to know that he was of the upper echelon of the money and fame game. So, like I said, I've talked to him a couple of times and this and that. And Sherlock told me, man, have you met everybody yet? I'm like, yeah, so far so good. I've met everybody. Everybody seemed to be cool. I said, but hey, man, Homebrew asked me the other day if I happen to find his $3,000 pinky ring, let him know, because he has a reward out here in the steel mill. So supposedly, Homebrew lost his $3,000 pinky ring, and he was offering a reward of $500 in order to recover that pinky ring. And when I asked him, I was like, wow, $500, huh? He was like, yeah, if you find that ring, he said, I'm giving you $500 on the spot for the recovery of that ring. So I told him, I was like, well, if I see it, man, I'll make sure that you get it. He said, well, the reason I price it so high, because if you actually go to the pawn shops or try to sell it to somebody else, the most you're going to get for it is a couple of $100. But he said, this pinky ring, I got it from a famous person, which I can't name, because then the value of it, people are really going to want it then. So I'm not going to say who this famous person is that gave me this $3,000 pinky ring. So I thought, okay, I said, well, if I really, if I see it laying around somewhere, I will make sure that you get it. So I went back and I told Sherlock, I was like, man, hopefully we can help find, Homebrew's pinky ring. So when I was telling Sherlock about it, he just looked at me and busted out laughing. He said, okay, he said, I know you do, because he do that to everybody that come through here. He said, Homebrew ain't lost no pinky ring. He said nobody ever even seen the pinky ring on him. He said, now don't get me wrong, he does wear rings, but he's never had wore a pinky ring. He just likes the attention and the flash of people thinking that he's got more than what he really has. He said, if you more and more you talk to him, the more and more it's going to always be something about what he has. And he was right. A couple of weeks later, I'm talking to Home Brew, and he says, hey, man, guess what? I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, I'll go pick up my new Mercedes-Benz today, man. Custom made. He said, I got the moon roof. He said, not the sunroof. He said, I got the moon roof. He said, I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big fan of the sun. I'm a big fan of the moon. So I got this customized moon roof. I was like, okay. I said, what's the customized moon roof? He said, it's just a little bit bigger than your regular size moon roof. He said, because I don't fool with the regular size. I got to see the whole moon. He said, so I got to pretty much cut out half of the roof. So I'm like, okay. He was like, I said, so it's a brand new car? He said, yeah, I'm having it brought over. I said, brought from overseas? He was like, yeah. He said, it's coming on a cargo ship. I'm like, okay. He was like, yeah. He said, well, when I get it, man, I'm gonna bring it out here so everybody get to see it. He said, but I don't want the contaminants from the steel mill to damage my leather, my tires I'm putting on it. So he said, I definitely will let y'all know, and I'm gonna let y'all come and check it out. So of course I run into Sherlock again, and I was like, hey man, Home Brew invited me to come and check out his brand new Mercedes-Benz with the customized moon roof. So what you think about that? He was like, man, okay, he's getting you again because you're new. He was like, he's been talking about that customized car, Mercedes-Benz with the big moon roof to go with the matching Mercedes-Benz with the extended sunroof. He was like, he comes up with all these crazy terms nobody else has really heard of. I said, man, I was like, why would a guy keep doing that? He was like, man, he just loves attention and loves to impress people. He's like, I believe he grew up very poor. So anything that he has, he wants to impress people. He said he probably never got attention. He said he probably was not popular at any point in his youth. He was like, he just probably wants everybody to know that, hey, I got it going on and I'm making money. So it was like, oh, okay. He said, have he told you about the big gala that they have downtown Chicago? Him and all of these big time politicians and famous people that he knows, that he throws this big gala event. And I was like, well, he's never told me anything about a gala event at all. So I was like, he probably not going to say nothing. He was like, well, he's going to hit you up about this gala event. He was like, he's going to promise to get you tickets. And he's going to promise to all these people that you're going to meet, and it'll never happen. He said, he's been telling me this for 10 years. He has not given me a ticket, no pictures. He hasn't showed me anything. He said, even with his home, he said he's always talking about this mini mansion that he has, but no one from here has ever seen it, ever heard of it, don't know the street, have no idea what he's talking about. But he said at some point he's going to hit you up. And of course, a couple of months later, he was telling me about this big gala that he was having and giving me an opportunity to rub elbows with some of the big people out of the city of Chicago, because that's where he was from originally anyway. He wasn't from Gary or Hammond or East Chicago or anywhere in the Northwest Indiana area. He was actually from Chicago, born and raised. So he was driving from Chicago to work in the Gary steel mill. But, to each his own. And I definitely enjoyed hearing some of the stories. It made your day. It just made your day. And it made it easier for you to work and not get caught up in the hustle and bustle of the steel mill industry, because sometimes it could be very, very taxing after a while. Like I said, once you were always in the elements, so if it was freezing outside, you was freezing your butt inside. Couple of heaters here and there, you had to stand right up on top of them in order to stay warm. So if it was 2 degrees outside, you felt all 2 degrees. And if it was 110 outside, you felt the 110 plus the heat from the furnaces, which we're talking like 2,000 degrees at some point. So that's how it went, and that's how I was in the life of the steel mill worker. So definitely enjoyed my my time in the steel mill. Did it pretty good, made a lot of money, met a lot of interesting people, and it's like I could never go back and argue or discuss anything that I'm not afraid to talk about when it come down to steel mill. So definitely appreciate everybody coming out, listening to what I had to say. I'm out of here. Peace and God bless.
You're now listening to the Key Witness Media Podcast with Kurt Maggs.